Annually, we take time during this dinner to salute a leader in our community making significant impacts in health and wellness to improve the lives of the Matsu family. In 2013, the Matsu Health Foundation inaugurated the Bert Hall Award for the commitment to the health of the community. Bert, can you please stand and wave? Bert, we thank you again for your example and for your leadership towards healthy community and state. This award, now dubbed the Bernie, is given annually to a person or group who has consistently exemplified commitment to improve the health and wellness of people in the Matsu Borough by working in the system level. When we work at the system level, we are trying to make the system work better for people, and we are often talking about collaboration and involvement in many different sectors and are quite complex. Some examples of system include healthcare, finance, early childhood, food security, and transportation. Elizabeth Ripley, President and CEO of the Matsu Health Foundation, will present this Bert Hall Award.
Thank you, LeBron. This year, the Matsu Health Foundation Board of Directors is pleased to honor Mark Lackey with the Bert Hall Award. Mark, will you please make your way up here? You get to stand here and everyone gets to look at you while I talk about you. Mark Lackey has served as Executive Director of CCS Early Learning Head Start since 2005, providing Head Start, Early Head Start, and home visiting services to families in the Matanuska-Susitna Borough. Head Start promotes school readiness for children living at or below the poverty level by providing comprehensive child development services, enhancing the social and cognitive development of children through education, health, nutrition, and other services, engaging parents in their children's learning, and supporting parents as they identify and meet their own goals and nurture the development of their children in the context of their family and culture. Mark has fostered a highly skilled, trauma-informed staff while expanding services and advocating for sustainable funding. His leadership has been recognized across the state. He was an Alaska Journal of Commerce Top 40 Under 40 recipient in 2012, and the Alaska Head Start Association Head Start Director of the Year in 2017. Under his leadership, CCS Early Learning was Wasilla Chambers Nonprofit of the Year in 2020. Their agency has also been recognized as a Trauma Smart Head Start, which means their staff and policies and procedures have become more responsive to children and adults who have experienced neglect, abuse, and significant family traumas. In a professional role, and spurred by personal passion, Mark often immerses himself as a catalyst for change in the systems that influence children and families. He was a founding chair of the Early Childhood Partnership of Matsu, established by United Way of Matsu in 2009. He has been a founding chair of Raising Our Children with Kindness since 2014, otherwise known as the Rock Matsu Collaborative, and he continues to provide leadership for its steering committee. Mark also provides state and national leadership to strengthen the early childhood experience by serving on committees such as the Alaska Department of Education and Early Development's Early Childhood Advisory Committee and the National Head Start Board of Directors. Mark invests in the intentionality required to transform systems, and his innovative, collaborative, and relational approach is often a critical facet of achieving success. In his many leadership roles, he has partnered with organizations and collaboratives to help develop the Palmer Families with Infants and Toddlers Court, to improve the family contact experience for children in out-of-home placements, and to generate cross-sector funding requests to infuse the Mat-Su community with both innovation and best practice. Mark was one of 2 dads who coordinated Mat-Su's inaugural community baby shower, which has been replicated in communities across Alaska and the nation. The goal of these community baby showers is to ensure the arrival of every Mat-Su baby is honored and celebrated, and the baby's parents are connected to caring supports in our community. Mark relentlessly amplifies his voice as an advocate to better the lives of children and families in the Mat-Su. He testified successfully to restore $6.8 million vetoed by the governor in the FY20 Alaska state budget. These dollars comprised the 20% match required for the federal match, the majority of funding for Head Start that year. This year, he successfully advocated to get an additional $5 million for Head Start in the state operating budget, so Alaska could draw down the full federal match funding. Alaska was leaving considerable dollars on the table. This new funding will serve Head Start programs across the state. He has consistently won national grants for Head Start and Early Head Start expansions to serve more children at or below the poverty level here in Mat-Su. Mark is an educator, a relationship builder, and a passionate advocate for children, and infuses these perspectives into every exchange for the betterment of Mat-Su's children and families. He works closely with our congressional delegation, Mat-Su delegation, and other elected officials to gain their support and confidence and address policy at the national and state level related to funding for Head Start. He serves on the board of Mat-Su Services for Children and Adults, which has an infant learning program and other services for people with developmental disabilities. He and his wife have fostered and adopted children and walked the talk of caring for and providing for children in every way possible. Mark is a premier advocate for children and families in our community. We are deeply honored and grateful to present Mark Lackey with the 2023 Bert Hall Award. Please join me in congratulating him.
Thank you very, very much. I don't know who the research team is, but some of that stuff I don't even remember about myself. There was a lot of stuff there. So thank you very much for this award. It is truly an honor, and it is truly humbling. So when I look at the previous list of recipients and the person whose name is on this award, I'm really honored to be included alongside them. I know many of them. I've worked in partnership with several of them. I'm even married to one of them. My wife, Rhonda Lackey, was part of the school district health advisory team that received the award in 2021. This recognized their incredible and much appreciated work to establish pandemic protocols, investigations, and responses that allowed our local schools to remain open most of the year, while other schools around the state and around the nation were shut down. Of all the many people who have helped me to be a better person, a better father, a better friend, to make these contributions to our community that are being recognized with this award, Rhonda, right over here, is the person whose heart for children and families I most aspire to have. Thank you for being the person so many of us want to become, and for supporting me in this work that we do together in our community. I made it through that part without a tear. The rest should be easy. This award is given to recognize work that is done to improve systems that lead to better community health. I want to speak to you about two of these systems that I've worked extensively within. Sadly, both of these systems need us all to see the problems, to understand them thoroughly, and to prioritize and take action. First, let's talk about the very, very important system that we all call family. This is the system that's foundational for humanity. It's extremely important for successful society life. Let's try a little experiment here in this very large room and apparently in other rooms within the building. If you would agree with me that being a parent was the most challenging thing that you've tackled in your life, raise your hand. So many hands up in the room. Those of you that didn't raise your hands probably have not been parents, because it is so challenging, and yet we all can agree that it's important, incredibly important work. Even under the very best of circumstances, raising children is the toughest and most important job we will ever have. And yet when poverty or incarceration or the death or the disability of a parent or a caregiver or substance abuse or a host of other terrible things comes into play, raising children through stress and trauma becomes even more challenging. I've recently been reading a book called Parent Nation, written by Dr. Dana Suskind. I grabbed some quotes and information from it that I wanted to share with you. Raising kids shouldn't be a lonely endeavor. Parents don't just contribute to society, they create it. They are raising the next generation of teachers and students, employers and employees, voters and leaders. Parents deserve more support. Parents and all loving adults who care for children have the power to lay a foundation for lifelong learning and success, but they need resources, time, and support to do so. The book defines its definition of parent nation like this: a parent nation reflects a society that celebrates, honors, and makes space for the love and labor that go into raising future generations. It ensures all parents have the information, the resources, and supports that they need to optimally raise their children and give them the best chance to succeed in life. It's a society that strives for the following 5 ideals. Number 1, parents have real choice. They have the opportunity to choose how best to care for their children, from birth through childhood. Number 2, parental wisdom is honored. Their inherent leadership is respected and uplifted. Their collective knowledge is recognized and supported. Number 3, children are invested in early. That's a pet peeve of mine. It's understood that children's potential does not begin on the first day of school. It begins on the first day of life. Public policies and investments are guided by the science of foundational brain development, which demonstrates the importance of the first years of life. Number 4, employers are allies. Those of you that employ people, listen up. They recognize that parents, especially parents with young children, need support, and they need time with and for their children. They set workplace policies that support this. Number 5, parents have access to supports. They receive resources and services starting at birth that enable them to be their children's best brain architect, their first teacher, their advocate, their coach. They're able to set their children up for success in life. The book is called Parent Nation. I highly encourage you to get a copy, to read the book, and to help make it happen. We need a parent nation. Secondly, I want to talk about the system that's charged with providing that support to parents of young children under the age of 5. We typically kind of call this the system of early childhood development. I put it into air quotes because there really is not an organized, thoughtful, or efficient system out there. Largely, we just expect parents to figure it out until age 5, when our nation's investment into children really begins. However, for the last 40 or 50 years, it has become more and more necessary for most families to have both parents in the workforce, just to pay the bills. When they do this, the choices they have are limited in leaving their children in high-quality environments to have experiences that will further that child's development. There aren't many options. I can tell you a great deal about one of the options. The agency that I am incredibly fortunate to lead, CCS Early Learning, has provided high-quality early childhood services for over 50 years. However, we just provide services to a small segment of the population. Our mission has been to help children and families who have been touched by the stress and trauma described above to be more successful in school and in life. We provide services to very low-income families, to children who are in foster care, to families who are experiencing homelessness, and to children who have disabilities. Last year, 1 of every 2 of the children we served at CCS was either in foster care or they were homeless. 1 of every 2, 33% of our kids were in foster care, and another 17% were homeless. 1 of every 2. Imagine a classroom where half the kids were either in foster care or homeless. Those are challenging environments. Those kids come with a lot of experiences and a lot of big emotions and a lot of things that are difficult. The other half of the kids we served were below 100% of the poverty line. That doesn't really mean much to a lot of folks, but I'll tell you what it is exactly. In Alaska, that number is $34,690 for a family of 4. So half of the kids we served were homeless and in foster care. The other half, if they were a family of 4, were less than $34,690. This work is incredibly difficult. It's filled with day-to-day challenges as varied as the experiences these children have encountered, the backgrounds that our families come from, the mornings that they pulled together to get their children to school so that they could get themselves to work. But at absolutely no fault of their own, these children have begun the earliest years of their life with the deck stacked against them. Our job, and my challenge today to you, your job, is to help provide these children and these parents and these caregivers with all the support that we possibly can. We all need to become a source of stability and strength and encouragement. We need to put them on a pathway for a childhood of joy and learning and caring for themselves and for the people around them. At CCS, we're able to do this using your tax dollars. We're only able to provide it for those children that need it the most. We're not able to provide it for that family of 4 that makes $35,000. They're not eligible. Nor can we provide support for families who face the exact same parenting challenges that you all raised your hands for, but they're solidly in the middle class. These families must navigate a world of very, very limited early childhood options. However, as all of us acknowledged by raising our hands, the importance and the challenges in these earliest years is so important. And the realities of this work and the importance of this work are certainly not reflected in the economic realities of the early childhood system. The average household expense in Alaska for childcare is $16,000 a year. That's $1,300 a month. That's more than some families' rent and their mortgages. $16,000 a year. In fact, That's more than a year of tuition, room and board at UAA. And these aren't parents that have been saving for college. These are parents with young children in entry-level jobs. I've had many people tell me that with those prices, child care providers or owners must be getting rich. And that's exactly my response. The number of child care centers that have recently closed down in our community paints a different picture. It tells the real truth. The work is incredibly difficult and the pay is not adequate. To further demonstrate this, I want to provide you some really terrible data from my own organization. These are wage comparisons. Keep in mind that our organization has experience, education, and degree requirements that other child care centers don't have. These make our wages among the best in early childhood in our community. The starting annual wage for a teacher in the Mat-Su-Borough School District with a bachelor's degree is north of $50,000. The starting annual wage for a teacher at CCS Early Learning with a bachelor's degree is $37,000. On the other end of the spectrum, the entry-level wage at Target in Wasilla, $17.25. The entry-level wage for a substitute teacher at CCS Early Learning, $14.57. Sadly, stocking shelves and corralling grocery carts into their pens, while very important work, pays 18% better than keeping children safe, helping them learn to share, teaching them to recognize letters and sounds, and to write their names. As a society, we are requiring our parents and our caregivers to work to pay the bills. And we are not acknowledging and supporting the important and crucial work that they leave in the hands of early childhood educators as they go off to work. We can do better. We can absolutely do better than that. And yet, even with the low wages, the incredibly difficult work, when I go into a classroom at CCS Early Learning, I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the optimism. I'm amazed at the joy. I'm amazed at the creativity. I'm amazed at the attention given to every individual child and the work that they do with every individual family. That keeps me fighting to improve this system that I'm telling you about, the system of early childhood development and the system of family. I didn't make it. I cannot begin to list all the things that my coworkers over the years have taught me about working with children and partnering with and supporting families. They continue to demonstrate so much dedication and compassion. The commitment to make a difference in the lives of children and families is never ending. The passion that we share to meet children and families where they're at, to walk alongside them in growth and development through good times and difficult times. It's really hard, but it's incredibly rewarding. Incredibly rewarding. It has been and will continue to be the honor of my lifetime to join together with them in this important work. Each one of them reminds me of this quote from Mr. Rogers. We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say, it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and they respond. And I consider those people my heroes. It might be you. If you've seen the need, if you've responded, I consider you my hero. Finally, I want to leave you with one last quote, which is attributed to Lillian Katz. She was a champion and a leader in advocating for early childhood education. Each of us must come to care about everyone else's children. We must recognize that the welfare of our children and our grandchildren is intimately linked to the welfare of all other people's children. After all, when one of our children needs life-saving surgery, someone else's child will perform it. If one of our children is threatened or harmed by violence, someone else's child will be responsible for that violent act. The good life for our own children can be secured only if a good life is also secured for all other people's children. I encourage you to see the need in your community and to respond. I encourage you to prioritize securing the good life for all children. Thank you very much for this award.
I actually forgot to give him the award, but can you see why he was receiving it? So this is the Bert Hall Award, and it says, the Bert Hall Award for achieving monumental heights in community service on behalf of a healthier Mat-Su. And LeBron, come over here for the photo op. We have Bert Hall, the original recipient of the award, and we're gonna give it to Mark Lackey. You wanna give it to him?
Look at glasses. Wow. You can take these things in, Bert, take that off, you get twice as much. Yes, congratulations, give me a hug. Oh, good to you. So's that friend of yours.
We need a picture.
Okay.
Can you hand it to Mark? There you go. You all hold it up together. Can you hold it up together?
There we go.
Okay.
And look,
Hey,
and
here's
here
the
we're gonna
camera.
smile for Leo.
Okay.
Over here, over here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
That was very, Mark, that was very passionate and heartfelt. I felt that, and I see why you do what you do. That wasn't in the script, but. Can we give Mark Lackey another hand of applause, please? Thank you again, Mark, for all that you do and have done to help Mat-Su families and be stronger and healthier.